Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that was a poorly timed cough. It's Sunday, May 28th, 2017, and we're going off to a great start today, aren't we? So, over the little break between Tuesday and Sunday, as usual, Epic released Unreal Engine 4.16. I haven't installed it yet, so we're going to be still using 4.15. I've heard some people had some problems getting from point A to point B. Apparently they changed a lot of stuff in the back end. Durst says they might miss tomorrow's stream. It's drop in, drop out. Don't... You owe nothing to me, right? Yeah. Oh, and I also realize I'm a bit behind on YouTube, but that's a different story. So, I'm gonna be loading up very soon. But, yeah, so, we're gonna be keeping with what we have right now because we're working on environment art, and I don't really want to, do a lot of porting of stuff over, even though usually it's not that bad. Usually it's nothing. Sometimes we have to change, like, 2 or 3 things, like, the way a component attaches to an actor has changed at one point in, like, 4.11 or something, so we had to, refactor that, but other than that, it's not too big of a deal, usually, especially if you keep up one version at a time. We're not going to do that this time, though. We're going to keep going with our environment art, so where we had last time, apparently there's a lot of things that did change though in the last version of Unreal Engine 4.16. Like garbage collection's a lot quicker, even though we don't really generate a lot of garbage. And so forth. If I was making an Xbox One game, I'd use DirectX 12 as my default renderer, which means we're getting close to having it be fully supported. Vulkan, still no word on that. It was supported a while ago, but I haven't heard much about that. So anyway, we're going to go here. And so I was looking at this a while ago, and I kind of like the look of it, particularly around the edge. But you'll notice we tend to get a bit of swimming. Kind of weird jagged aliasing that even causes a little flicker like over here. See where the mouse is? That's because it's very harsh changes that are very abrupt. And it depends on where the sample in the pixel is, or where the sample is being taken, what color the pixel will be, and if it's temporal aliasing, it'll kind of switch between a bunch of them. So I might go back on that a little bit. Like right there as well. I don't know. So if I would go back on it, I would make the border even thinner, but have no bump to separate the voxels. SMLE Halo, I don't know what that is. Which is probably a sign I don't. But I do like the kind of sharp divide between the voxels. Oh, hey, yeah, I have all that stuff, yeah. Let's see what album it's on. Let's get 29. Okay. There we are. Yep. So now we need a. The question is this good enough, or do we want to change it? And another thing I can do as well is I can also add a specular effect too, emissive effect. So I could have it based on world coordinates, because again we have everything by world coordinates now. I could drop it in so that way there's a pulse that kind of goes through the level. It would be difficult to find out roughly how big the object is to make it kind of look, you know, sensible, but unless I end up doing it by voxel size. So I have the period be like once every 20 voxels, create a small little pulse that goes through, make it look sort of Tron-y, sorta Tron-y. So before we do anything more about that, let's look back at our reference, because it's always good to keep your head in, you know, in what you're trying to accomplish. This is obviously not what we're trying to accomplish, but it's our closest reference to it. Similar to this, but just with metal trim between each voxel, as if it was kind of like this. So one thing I want to try is switching out voxel size a little bit. Let's try a bit smaller. This actually looks kind of cool in my opinion. Well, it's less flickering because of that zoom level. If we zoom in, it's going to be more flickering. If we zoom out, it's not going to be any flickering at all, pretty much. It varies on your zoom level. Let's actually look at my draw call count. D3, D11 RHI. Not that big of a deal. So our average draw call count is less than a millisecond. Oh, our frame time's actually pretty high though. So we're down to like 100 FPS. Let's see if the problem is. Oh, okay. The problem is the editor. Okay. I'm gonna say because if we're at, you know, less than 120 FPS, this is now VSync on a GTX 1080 at like 720p. That's a bit concerning for a small level. Especially since we don't actually have any parallax occlusion or anything. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So I guess we'll save that. And that'll be good for now. So we have chessboard done. Now, what we should do next is either CrossStream or King's Cross. Or King's Court? Yeah, King's Court, I think I called it. So this is, how tall is this? 3 meters tall. If I was doing parallax occlusion, I'd be a bit more careful with frame times because that's a very heavy operation. But we're just using standard normal maps, so it's just simple shading bumping. So that's what we're leaving it as. Actually, I can probably show y'all what it looks like when you have let's leave this. Probably show you all what it looks like when you have a mission on that. Should probably do this. Oh, actually, that wouldn't work. Yeah. So then would be a lerp. Linear interpolate. Nope. U. Break links. Just move you down a little more to give me more room. Okay. And I need 3 vector here, black, and then 3 vector here. Let's make it a bit cyan. There we are. Then we'll drop down the value a little bit. There, and have this be a mission. Apparently I did that wrong. There we are. So, if we were to apply that, that'd be what it looks like. So no matter what angle you're on, it has a bit of a glow to it. And then you'd be able to... Essentially, my anisotropic filtering is kind of crap. And you could have it be pulsing through and stuff like that. Of course, it's done to all of them, so that's not a good idea, but... Yep. So we're removing that now, but I just want to show you what that actually would be. So apply and save, which brings it back to what it was. I kind of like the hard edge though. Only way to be able to have some occlusion to it. Oh well. So yeah, let's go to now let's, well, actually first let's go to our thing here, and we'll do Notepad, and we'll figure out some we'll get our various settings here. So bloom intensity 0.6, min max brightness I adapt is 1.0. So we're turning off adaptation. Lens flares 0.3. No image effects. Oh no, I haven't been yet. Yeah. That's right, I had that here. Advanced, I think so. Oh, I didn't actually add ambient occlusion. Too much, but yeah. Gives it a little bit extra of, well, you can see it. A little extra lighting detail. I think 0.7 is a little too much. Let's try and mostly get that with, actually, no, let's go even higher. Let's do 300. Let's try and mostly get that with, static lighting. See how this looks in game. How do I do this? Let's go for 0.7. Let's do 150. And then you can minimize this to a higher frame rate, of course, because the editor takes up a lot of frame time. Sure, you know what? That's fine. Whatever. Let's do that. Let's save it. Let's start a game. Oh, after I write down the settings, so rendering features, AO, 0.6 intensity, 300 radius. Oh, no, wait. 0.7 intensity and 150 radius. I forgot that when you make a modification and you shut down Play and Editor, it reverts those modifications. Now let's save it again. Use Editor. Cool, okay. Now let's go to menu level, main menu. Start that, launch a game, go full screen with it because why not? 1 versus AI, and let's see how this plays. Hitting 120 FPS. So, I mean, it's GTX 1080, I hope it's going to hit something like that. But, seems a bit stuttery when I'm holding it, even though it's hitting max frame rate. Might actually be a smoothing algorithm on my turn. Stream once again brought to you by Coca-Cola, yeah. And actually, I forgot the light copied on the light settings, so I'll need to change that. And I'm gonna get the quick kill. Kinda like the art style of this so far, though. Oh, things get pixely. May have been my encoder. Looked fun on my end. Like, on the monitor right here, not... I wasn't looking at the encoder there. Didn't drop any frames, but, you know. It's possible that it was just too low a bit rate. I'm only sending 2 megabits out. I need to finish off my, not my partner, my affiliate application, but they want tax forms, so it's a bit intimidating for me. But yeah, if I fill it out, then I'll be able to be an affiliate, which would give me higher priority access to encoding, which would allow me to potentially raise the bit rate and the frame rate. Okie dokie. Oh, right, the lighting. I have view sunlight disabled, really? Oh, because that made the weird glow. Although it looks good now. Let's see how it looks now that I have the gold instead of that weird voxely thing. It's a nice little golden glow to the gold. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so save. BP Light Studio. Global 5.5. If you're wondering how I know what each of these things are, the ones with a little arrow tell you to revert. So if it has an arrow to tell you to revert, chances are it's something you changed. So yeah, that's how I'm going by it. Use HDRI. Yes. your eye cube map. Studio 08. I really need to go and make some HDRIs, as I was saying with you earlier. Now we know we're not going to be using a outdoor scene. We can do indoor scenes, which means I can basically recreate this in Blender. That's fairly easy. It's just cylinders and stuff. -0.1. Use sunlight. True. Sun brightness 2.0. Pure tint. Use atmosphere. False. Actually, see what the atmosphere does. Nothing I can tell. Okay, so whatever. Everything else is fine. Okay. So save that, and then we're going to build. Lighting quality is high. Let's just build. And then Swarm Agent will pop up. Hi, Swarm Agent. Paywall, what do you mean paywall? Curious to see what my light map quality is in this. Here it is, sorry. That's not too bad. Oh, no, there we are. Wrong one. I can't close my eyes, 'cause there's a feeling somewhere. Yeah. They gave me an invitation about a month ago, but I haven't actually accepted it because then I would be able to accept the bits and have higher quality streams potentially and things like that. But I didn't accept it yet because it was a bit intimidating for the tax forms, right? It's one of those things I want to, do right so you don't end up having, tax problems. Right. And again, if I was going to do this for something like VR, I would have to drop down the draw call count of this, because I can't guarantee that someone, when I'm doing mouse and keyboard and mobile and stuff like that, if I ever do mobile, I can control where the camera is going to be, because I can lock the pawn to only see a certain angle, as I do. It's like a 60-degree angle or whatever it is, and people can rotate around. If I end up making this game a VR game, I can't control what people are going to look at because they can turn their head. If I don't let them turn their head, they're going to get motion sick, right? So if they look up and see the entire grid of the level, that could be bad if the frame rate drops, right? There is ways around that. One way of doing it is to make sure that on large levels like CrossStreams, most of your tiles are static, which they are. They're static, but then make a pass through them and have all of the static ones within certain range be batched together. That requires some automation. I haven't done it yet. Because I never really need to, because the camera can only see a small portion of the playfield, right? But if I want to do VR, that could be a problem if people have 5,000 draw calls for tiles alone, plus whatever decorations I have. That can lead to some pretty nasty frame rate drops. I said this a couple times, but So typically how you want, like, if you're doing a high-end PC game, mobile's different. If you're doing a high-end PC game, you can typically get away with around, for hundreds of FPS, if you stay under, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 draw calls, you'll probably be fine. That's when the frame rate starts to take a nosedive. And then from there, it precipitates down. If you're targeting 30 FPS, then you can probably get away with like 20,000 draw calls. That tends to be where AAA developers, with highly optimized, games, that's how many they can pull off. There has been some games that have gone beyond that, like Assassin's Creed Unity, as we were talking about a few weeks ago. They've went up to the 50,000 range. That's basically it. Now when you start going to Vulkan and DirectX 12, which, hey, if we end up doing that, then there would be a completely different set of options, right? If we do say, hey, VR can only work in Vulkan, and then whenever Epic gets Vulkan render, up and running, then great, right? Then we can have a lot more draw calls because it's a much more efficient API. That could be something, but as it stands right now in DirectX 11, if we have VR and we let the player see the entire level of CrossStreams, they're going to have a really bad time. So I'll show you here. I can't even do that. Right, so let's do here. Show stats. There we are. So you can see here, GTX 1080 with a Devil's Canyon Intel at like this resolution is getting like 17 FPS from this here. That is much lower than the 90 you need, and it's all draw calls. So if we do D3D RHI, where is that? Is it advanced version? Don't know, so let's do this. D3D 11 RHI. There we are. So we're in like the 5,000 draw call range. Looks like 22,000 draw calls for total. I think that's what it is. Uniform buffer pool number three. Is that right? So UE4 uniform pool num3. I believe that's the number of draw calls total. UE4 D3D 11 RHI. I can do stat scene rendering, of course, too, right? So I'll do stat scene rendering instead. Oh, no, I'm only doing, okay. I'm doing, 8,000 mesh draw calls, 4,000 static list draw calls, translucency and GPU time is 9 milliseconds. I used to know how to read this. It's been a little while. Anyway, So you get the idea. If I let people see the entire level, I mean, look. 100 FPS, 19 FPS, 100 FPS, 110 FPS, 15 FPS. Gets kind of precipitous. Anyway, so yeah, what we're doing. Oh, I need to make a version of this. So save current as old Bell CrossStreams. Save. Dur says, hey, maybe we can check a feature on Linux Gamecast. Then actually asked me multiple times. He had me on Linux Daily Wednesdays. And he asked me multiple times to talk about the game on the show, but I wasn't ready to show it yet. I want to make sure that it works first. Be it whether I, get it published or something like that, or, I release my itch.io demo. What's going on here? That's not rendering right. Open level. CrossStreams. Yeah, there should be some there disabled like that. Maybe it didn't load properly. Oh, it didn't load properly, okay. Okay, now we have that, we can start messing with it as we like. I don't know why I'm doing this, so I can just do that. Bingo, that's all gone. We're gonna take all this BSP and delete it. So now in our post-process volume, we're going to then replicate a lot of these settings. Bloom, 0.6. 1 and 1. Lens flares, 0.3. I should know that when you uncheck it, it doesn't turn off the effect. It just uses the default for the effect, right? You're overriding what's being done. There we go, image effects up here. Vignetting, 0.7. Rendering features AO intensity 0.7. And 150. Okay, so bloom, brightness, lens flares, image effects, vignetting, rendering features, intensity, and radius. Okay, so that's now set up to the same way as our previous one was. I'm probably going to be jumping back and forth between CrossStreams and chessboard, and whenever we get our art style nailed down, which we seem to have, and we start adding things to, like, making more levels after the demo, or whatever happens, I can then make a checklist or even maybe a generator to create a base level that I can add stuff into it. But as it stands right now, I'm kind of having to set the settings by hand, because why make a generator that you're going to have to change, right? If you're making something to automate something, you have to change every time you do it. You're not automating anything, you're just doing it indirectly at that point. Yeah, so skylight gone. Atmospheric fog. I think I get rid of that, but anyway. Okay, now we're gonna go and get BP Light Studio. I'm gonna do Studio 8. And then, I don't know why I have it rotated such that it's pointing straight up, but I did, so whatever. Use HDRI. HDRI rotation is negative 0.1. Not that really matters, but you get the idea. It will vary based on how people spawn in a level, so whatever, but no. Global brightness is 5.5. Much brighter than it was. Use sunlight is true. Global brightness is 2. Use atmosphere is false. Everything else should be roughly the same. So we'll do save. It's obviously going to be a lot different when we have it in level, but you know, like we have the decorations around it and when we have the game running. Oh, we're not actually hitting really high frame rate right now. What's limiting us? Most limited by draw? Because everything else is in lockstep. Oh, we should build lighting. That's probably something that's going to be a problem. Okay. Right. So let's turn our lighting quality down to preview. Then we'll do a build. Normally, preview is not really worthwhile, but at the same token, I don't have all my geometry in yet. Doing any higher than preview would be kind of stupid. Oh, someone gave me a firmware request on Steam. Awesome. Sorry I didn't see that comment last time. Oh, someone's messaging me in a different channel. Oh, Durs said my stream's online. Awesome. Said it a while ago, but, you know. Didn't notice it. Mind lag, yeah. So we're exporting the scene data to, I'm guessing, Swarm Agent. There's a lot of items in the scene. There's 4,000 tiles. I guess it'd be easier if we were to batch them together, but we can't at the moment. But the good thing is, if we do have it set up, we can actually have tiles that are listed static and are nearby together all get joined into one. So they're drawn together, which would be fine. You wouldn't want to do that for items that are across the map, because you don't want to draw all, I mean, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but you wouldn't want to draw all 4,000 tiles, no matter where you are in a scene, because if you're only able to see this and over there, you wouldn't see it, then, you know, that would kind of suck. However, if you, like, you'd be drawing stuff you can't see, it'd be like rasterizing, yes, it's point and triangle, or no, it would never be point and triangle because it's off the frame buffer. The view press from, anyway. I bought a M578 to replace the M310 mouse. Did you just buy a mouse like a month ago? Which is made fine. I mean, I replaced my, well, this one I had for a long time, but I know the joy of replacing mice every once in a while. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, I mean, you'd be drawing geometry that would be off screen, but if you make it localized, then that'll be, you know, a trade-off. So instead of having, you know, 4,000 draw calls of 4,000 different objects, you can have like 400 draw calls of 10 objects that are all together, or 200 of 20 objects that are all together. That's significantly less draw calls. That's much better, and 20 tiles visible on screen at once seems kind of, you know, reasonable, especially if you're able to view the entire scene, right? It's all about trade-offs, right? You want to... It's actually funny because there's one time I was talking with someone, they were talking about optimizing your scene, and they're like, hey, if we join the object together, we'll optimize draw calls. And I said, yes, but is that your, you know, they weren't mentioning anything about profiles or something like that. It's like, I'm like, is that your bottleneck, right? And they're like, well, we want to save as many as possible. I'm like, how many draw calls do you have? They're like, 20. And I'm like, okay, so we're talking about scales of the thousands, right? That's when you should really start worrying. But, yeah, so I told them to, you know, not optimize that, you know, dropping 20 draw calls down to 1 could be performance improvement. However, when you have 20 draw calls, that's not going to be a bottleneck of anything, so you're wasting your time. Just, you know, do it until you have a problem. And I wasted enough time that thing's build's complete, so hey, it's cool. So now I can save that, and we will try playing still only drawing 500 draw calls. Why am I not getting high frame rate? What's eating my frame time? Okay. Well, one is my antivirus software decided to go nuts and just start doing a bunch of stuff. OBS is also taking a lot of room. Unreal Engine's taking up quite a bit of RAM. See if I need to restart the editor. This hasn't been a problem lately, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to take a lot of RAM. It's running an editor and a transferring an edit or an instance to the game at the same time. It's not the question that would take up 4 gigs of RAM, but just want to make sure there wasn't just a bunch of stuff lagging in the background. And yes, semi-translucent objects are not really the best for performance, but they're also unlit. Let's go here. Let's actually start the game. I don't know why I did that. Okay. CrossStreams, free-for-all. It's sure, why not? AI, Alice. Still not getting VSync levels of quality. I'm not sure why. I'll have to go through a profiler. I'm wondering why. Is that the right? No, that's the right thing. I was wondering why the tiles looked a bit desaturated compared to other levels, but that makes sense. So I can move here, I can move the 9, or I can move this 9. Well, I can't move this 9, I mean, so I move it one side over. Gonna look a lot better when we have a bottom like plane underneath this. So I'm going to have to model the bottom chunk of this. I'm thinking I might want to have the base itself be all one piece. Again, that would limit how I have to draw the entire thing, but it would just be point and triangle tests. So if my triangles are big enough, that wouldn't matter, right? And I'm talking about just the base, not the actual decorations that go on top of it. So how I'm trying to make it look like is so imagine that something like this is like a plate that's kind of suspended in air in a kind of, virtual void, kind of like this sort of thing. So I can have the entire plate of voxels be together. And the way we have it set up right now is there's no triangles for individual voxels. It's all material effect. Just a bunch of boxes. So, I mean, a big triangle versus a small triangle wouldn't matter. It would just be testing the same object. As long as the base plate doesn't have too many triangles, it wouldn't matter. And as long as the triangles are of the same period that we want, right? And then we could have these little decorations be on top of it, and that's fine. That wouldn't contribute. That wouldn't be drawn if it's not on screen because it's its own container that's on it. It's really hard for me to explain. Yeah. Anyway. Do you like the material effects of these, though? Being reflected. Hey, Develop Games, what's up? What was I looking at before? I was looking at images from Mirror's Edge mod and 3D Dot Game Heroes, and also one from Super Scope 6, and kind of using that to figure out an art style. Oh, there's no stream delay today? Awesome. Cool. It's all Twitch. Just gotta send them. Send them the bits and hope they do it right. They could have gone one more, but I'm not sure. Would I have been gone one more? Yeah, it would have been in range. That would have been done. Okay, cool. So if you're just joining us, I'll show you what our art style currently is. Actually, I'll show it in game. This is our current art style. Trying to go for kind of a voxely appearance. I'm eventually going to make a mask where I can actually stamp some variation on the material. Kind of like, well, kind of like this, where you see there's, you know, some voxels are a different color. All you have to do is then just add a stamp, and in the material, each period, adjust the hue and variance by a slight amount. But as it stands right now, this is kind of what we have. Oh, I'm not gonna get the quick kill. This is gonna be a fun game then. Okay. There we are. So I can't attack this pawn anymore because this can eat backwards. I think I'm gonna still open the same way though. Actually, Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna open this way. Just gonna make the pawn go up and have to retreat, but... Oh, no, they're just gonna move back. That's interesting. In which case I'm gonna move here. Oh no, I can't do that. Crap. I think I move there and then kill the queen if the knight ever moves, but then the king would kill me. Or the pawn. Stupid decision. Oh, yeah, you want to kill my queen, don't you? Now you lost your knight for a pawn. Congratulations. Okay, let's go back. Oh, hello. Oh, I can't move it there. Crap. So if I can move it there, so I could threaten the king. Either make it move the pawn back or whatever. Move it there or there. Let's move it there, see what it does. Oh, the bishop! Crap. Well then, 2 can play that game. I know it's just gonna be able to block it, but whatever. I say I'm not the best chess player in the world. The goal was not to be good at chess. Or how to say this. The reason why I made this game wasn't because I was good at chess or anything. People always ask me that, like, oh, you're a big chess fan or whatever. No, not really. I just had a very fun idea. And I kept working at it for, at this point, years. I want to move, you know, there, but this pawn's in the way. Oh. I guess I just need to will it into place. Okay, thank you, AI, for doing my work for me. Yeah. Can I... No, that wouldn't work. And now it's threatening me. Okay. I can't defend myself there. And now can eat me backwards, so I just go to evacuate. Okay, so let's evacuate. There? I want to go for... No, go there. Sure, why not? So I can go here and escape, or... Is there something else I can do? Nope. Okay. Time to get some aggressive. Check. So if I go here, it does have ways to escape, but Oh, what am I doing? Just kill him. Duh. Okay. Sure. I do need to fix the victory screen a little bit. Make it look a bit nicer, like maybe have the ellipses on the sides. Just kind of... No, it didn't block. It wanted to save its queen for some reason. So, sure, why not, right? But yeah, as I was saying, people seem to like, oh, you play a lot of chess or whatever. No, not really. Put it a bit competitively in like elementary school, but other than that, no. Oh right, so go into a chessboard level, and this thing here is going to be 300, 1, 300, and 15. So scale, and then location. There we are. Okay, and then we should do that, you know, several times. So here we are with a standard cube. Where is that again? Oh, of course, here, yeah. There we are. So we're gonna give it 15050, and then 0 and 0, and then 300, and then 300. I saw a scale as 0 and I was confused. Oh, we got rotated. And then over here we're going to duplicate. So negative 15050. And then you duplicate there. So 15050 and 0. And then not 0. And then negative 15050. And then we add one more rotate around x-axis there, and negative 15050. Oh, sorry. 0. 0. Negative 15050. I believe that's right. Just make sure that's right. So yeah, we have all the edges perfectly lining up there. Oh, is that why I was causing that? Because the sun was pointing upwards? Oh, that makes sense. Oh well, it looks good, so whatever. Right, then we're going to take this and copy it to 15050. I believe that's right. Cool. Now we're gonna give this guy emissive top material. And we're going to give new folder, CrossStreams, create material instance. It's going to be M CrossStreams. Sorry, I need to do it because it's going to be the folder. So M container. Sure, why not? M container. Move it there. We're going to apply that there. We're going to apply that there. apply that there. Apply that there, and apply that there, and it should be all 5, if I count correctly. Can I count to 5 correctly? Apparently I can. That's a good start. Good, now let's go into here, and let's give it some actual size. So, box size, I think we did 2,000 or 3,000? Yeah, it was 3,000, okay. Or was it 2,000? Tell you what, we're gonna save. We're gonna go back to chessboard and see, because I want to make these consistent. I want the externals to look right. So battle chessboard. Oh, I could have just looked in the content browser. I didn't have to load the entire level. Let's get here. So it's 2,000 and an offset of 1,000 each. Okay. So 2,000. And then let's see if the offset's the same. I think I use this. Oh, I use the same. So this offset moves the voxel such that if I get the number correctly, the border will align at the end of each wall. Here I was loading another level when I could have just looked at the material. That works right. So now M voxel container, 0.7 each. 0.07 each, I should say. Cool. Why is this slightly different? So, 30951. $39.51, yeah, okay. Save. So this is what the tiles look like in level. Getting closer to the edge than normal, but again, that's because we want to keep this exterior consistent. I've got to figure out what's causing a little bit of a frame drop there. Although complaining about positive 100 FPS is not really all that big a deal. However, it is a GTX 1080, and I shouldn't be getting that level of, you know, performance with the type of game I'm creating. So there's something I need to optimize. I don't know where though yet. So now we need to create the plate, so it'll be 300 tall because that's what I did for chessboard, and it looked fine. And then I need to make it various, you know, sizes. I'm thinking of making the moat jagged, so it actually would be voxel edges. I'm just not sure what period I want yet, though. The smaller periods, the more jagged I have to make it. Unless I want multiple voxels to be like, you know, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like stair step. Either way, we're getting quite a bit of work done today, so that's good. Build lighting. Have they gotten rid of Steam Greenlight? I heard they are planning on getting rid of it. I'm not sure if they actually did yet. now it's something like you give them a deposit, and then if you make it back in sales, then they refund it. People are really, you know, crapping on Valve for, but I mean, they have to do something. And Valve is kind of the scientific style company where it's like, let's try everything. And whatever doesn't work, let's just pretend we never did it, right? Not pretend we never did it, they actually admit it, but you know. Let's immediately undo it. My most anticipated game of 2017, honestly, I don't really get caught up in a lot of the hype lately for a lot of these things. That's not to say I'm immune to it, just it hasn't really happened a whole lot lately. Check it, hopefully 2017, for something. Even if it's just a proof of concept. Did I not do... Oh, first off, I screwed up the light mass importance bottom. I need to rechange that size, but whatever. I'll do that next time. Did I screw up the... lens flare? No, that's right. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'm not really all too caught up in any games at the moment. The game I played the most lately is StarCraft still. And it's not even like the actual multiplayer from StarCraft. It's still I just realized I forgot to set this to effect. Static lighting. Oops, there we are. And so let's try that again. Sorry, folks, for wasting your time again. Interesting, a little bit of light bleed going through the corners here. Should be fun. So develops looking forward to Call of Duty World War II. That's kind of cool. You're a huge fan of World at War. Nice. Honestly, I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, so Call of Duty 4, through single player. Never played multiplayer, and I haven't touched another Call of Duty before or after. Hasn't ever come up. Since it took less time the second time, I'm wondering if it actually stores difference, like differences between one and the other. Yeah, I'm getting some weird light bleeding. I'm wondering if I actually should add a box around the corner to prevent light from going through. Yeah. So I'm not gonna crap on people for liking Call of Duty or anything like that. It's play what you like, right? But I just never was in this series. I was in Battlefield most of the time. Like, Battlefield 2 was a great game for me. Actually, one of my favorite things about Battlefield 2 was, oh, maybe it's my light mass importance volume. That could be the problem. Okay. So before I go into that story, let's make it larger still. There we are. Save current, and then we're going to do a light build again. And it may also be that I'm using previewed lighting, not production quality. This is why H1Z1 King of the Hill, cool. Yeah, the main thing, one of the funnest things, one of the favorite parts of Battlefield 2 for me was actually on the map Wake Island. I really liked it when, because I was in a team that actually had one of the, they kind of did some ranking. It wasn't really all that good ranking, but they did some ranking on Battlefield 2 for player stats. Our team actually had, it was all Canadian team, one of the best, like, top 200, I think it was, Jets ranked players in Battlefield 2, period. So he was very good at, Jets. So him and another guy were playing quite a bit. Maybe it's not that then. Okay. Maybe it's my lighting quality. Anyway, so one of the fun things was having him, fight through the skies and then bomb the corridors. And I would actually, be on the ground and talking to them on TeamSpeak and being like, drop the bomb here, there, and there. There's enemies in various locations. Either I would tell them where the tank is directly, or I would say there's a bunch of infantry down the main corridor on the between these 2 points, and they just indiscriminately bomb and take on infantry or whatever. And then if it was they missed, I would say the correction, like you're off by about 100 meters, too far, too short, whatever. And it would actually they'd come back and they'd bomb them again. And that was a very interesting, fun time, especially when we played competitively. But yeah, not a lot of that happened in later versions. Battlefield 3 especially didn't have any free bombs. Apparently Battlefield 4 does again. Or did it at one point, did again, and Battlefield 1 does. So that was fun, but it just hasn't really hit the same stride as well. But then again, I haven't been playing with organized teams as much as mostly pub matches. There's also one funny thing I did as well, where we take this big helicopter and move it up way up to the top of the skybox, because people don't think they should go up there, right? On pub servers, and then we jump on and parachute. And one of the funny things people don't realize is that AT mine can be used for more than just a mine. It is a very powerful weapon on Battlefield 2. So one time I was actually over the airfield on, again, Wake Island, the airfield point, and a tank was, moving around, and I wanted to take it out. So I was parachuting over it. I switched to AT mines, armed the mine, and dropped it. And there's a fuse, so if it's, contacts a vehicle in the first, 3 seconds or whatever it was, it's not going to blow up. But it turns out that the time it took to fall was longer than that cutoff. So as soon as it hits the ground, it just blew the tank to smithereens or whatever you want to say. I was going to say blew the tank to sky high, but that doesn't make grammatical sense whatsoever. So it just decimated him. So the guys just walking around, driving around his tank, not knowing what happened, just, boom, explodes the AT mine in his own base, right? So not realize it's come on top. Another fun thing you can do with AT mine as well is you gotta be careful of team kills, because it has a pretty big radius and it would kill infantry as well. If you arm it and throw it on top of the tank and run away, when the timer counts down, it would blow up the tank, even though it's not rolling over, it's actually just resting on top of it. So a lot of times you have these guys with a tank, you know, aiming around, just, you know, taking pot shots at it. You get behind it, drop a mine on it, and run away. And if the tank doesn't move, it has like a 3-second life, and then it's going to explode in a glorious fashion, right? So a bunch of those interesting, fun techniques as well. So that was fun. As you can tell, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2142, those games were actually pretty fun. 2142 didn't have the same, again, no air, free bomb jets. No jets at all, really. It was kind of these weird VTOL type things with missiles. But it was still fun. Played a lot of it competitively. It was not competitively, but, you know, team versus team. And it was very fun. So again, we're going to make a plate. That'd be that size. So this guy here is negative 9,450. To probably 9,450. It's automatically generated, so I don't know why I would have anything else. Yeah, no, yeah. But before you start wasting your time doing modeling, clicking on one object would be kind of, you know, useful. And then each of these is has a period of 300, so I want to add 150 on top of that. So probably 960 to negative 960. Sorry, 9600. I almost fell off my chair there. That was fun. Right. I was so excited. I almost fell off my chair. No. Right. And then we have to make this cutout. $10.30. Put the blender for this. So I made the plate 3 meters deep. I can make them all different sizes. It's no big deal. But yeah. Oh, and I have to figure out what I want to do for water as well. Because water, I used to use a plate from the marketplace, which would just create a plane. It would look pretty cool as well, but and it would be world relative, so you can just stack the planes and they would flow. And the water would flow perfectly between them. Can't do that though for voxels. I mean, I could do that for voxels. It would look kind of weird though, especially at the end of the plate, how it would fall off the sides. Well, I tried a weird vision of that. I should make a cube emitter at the ends and just have like blue cubes fall as if it was like voxeled water, just, you know, tumbling. And then it would, you know, despawn after a couple seconds before it's ground. That's one thought. Okay. Well, before we do anything, let's go into Blender. Actually, I changed the camera to open Blender. I didn't even open it. There we are. Let's open. Okay, save as. Check it. CrossStream. Voxel plate. Okay, and then we can get rid of this and this. Because I don't really care about that. And then I can close that panel. I need a much larger clip plane than that because our size is going to be... Oh, no, I won't. 1 kilometer is still good. Right, because we're doing the edges of the level, so yeah, it's going to be clearly smaller than that. Cube. Oh, because we're in Blender render, right. Okay, 0, 0, 0. And we're going to make the dimensions be 9600 times 2. I could do that in my head, but why bother? 9200. Sorry, 192. And 3 meter tall plate. So this is going to be our plate. I may want to make it larger than... That's really a good question. Do I want to make all base plates for every level 3 meters tall? Because that's what I chose for chessboard, and once you choose one, do everything the same. Or do I want to have it have varying depths for that? Because that could be a problem if, like, for example, for the mode, if I want to make it deeper than 2 meters, or 2.5 meters and make them a voxel period of 50 centimeters, then that could be a problem, right? Hi, welcome to the chat. Got a lot of viewers today, so thanks for all that. So now I'm going to have to cut in the various elements here. So all these shiny tiles are going to disappear. So from one corner, I have to kind of cut out voxels like that. So I cut out 300 and then, actually I cut out 600. Yeah. Start with 300 and cut out 600 and then 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And do the same on the other side as well. As a matter of fact, I could probably even make it, you know what, let's do that. Edit mode. Let's make it easier on myself right off the bat. JJ, so X this way, sure. So I'm going to, I'm gonna have to rotate it clearly, but I'm gonna make this face, this face, and this face, and this face disappear. And then I'm going to set my cursor to 0, 0, 0. I'm going to select all and do, actually it won't matter because it's a modifier. Do the mirror modifier and have the mirror be in the XY axis there. So anything I do on this side will automatically be occurred on this side. So we're going to have this, the level look kind of like this, where mirror, not mirror. Now the mirror modifier on Blender might change their mouse settings. Yeah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you clearly weren't here for a while. Yeah, number of cuts. 1. Here. So I want plus 3 meters. Now I might be slightly wrong on this, but that's okay. And then, so 3 meters is there, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we're going at 3 meters. So subdivide. Grab this edge, subdivide it again. So negative 93 meters plus 15 meters. I like doing like strict math for a lot of this for some reason. Trying to think how I would do this directly. I mean, I could just make a boolean, like a mesh, and then kind of boolean it down. But I want to do it the direct way. I would need to cut, detail into here and move it along. Okay then, so we're gonna do subdivide here. We're gonna subdivide this again. Subdivide this again, and we'll say that's about right. And then we're gonna grab this here. And I want to do an edge slide, so local. Oh, there we are. So I'm going to do snapping to vertex right. What? What? I have my widget here, so why am I not allowed to move it? I am confused. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this correct distance along this path such that it's in line with this guy here. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it the global way. And we will correct it later. Okay, so now then we'll have this be like that there. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do this. Have this one be over here. And we're gonna have to adjust these later for well, for the this little chunk around here. Yeah, I guess the mirror modifier is not really gonna. What? Okay, well, there we are. So you and you gotta be an edge. You and you gotta be an edge. So I'll grab this here. It's gonna extrude down, but I can actually do it better. But just do subdivide, make 2 cuts. And over here, subdivide, make 2 cuts. Grab these 4, bring them down 2 meters. Then have this be in line with that, this be in line with that. Now, obviously, Blender isn't sure what I'm trying to do yet, so it's getting very confused. But when I start adding edges, it's gonna start realizing. It's actually, let's get rid of the modifier, sure, why not? So the mirror is getting confused. Mirror, by the way. We'll mirror later. And now we have this, we can just subdivide and cut in. Right, so subdivide. Probably guess what I'm doing now. I mean, I explicitly said, but, you know. It's just a matter of, you know, cut. So I want this to be, so this is -96. So this would be -93. There we are. So that's 3 meters, and then we're gonna cut another one. Actually, we don't want to have this edge. We'll delete the edge here, because that can get in the way if we're doing it, you know, if we're gonna, you know, stair step it. Now I could be off by a little bit, because again I'm trying to do mental math here. But I'm assuming it's going to stop right around there, so this would be 1 stair step, so I can then do another stair step there. I might have had some overhang though, so if I do, I'll have to adjust it. That's not too big a deal. So you subdivide, and you subdivide. Oops, what am I doing? You 2 subdivide. You 2 subdivide, because I want to have an edge between them. This edge is fine. So I'm gonna grab this, move this in line with this one here, but move it up a little. Specifically, move it up 3 meters. I'm a bit concerned about the height, though. I'll fix that soon. And then up 3 meters. And we just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. Until we create this pattern. The bridge is going to be under the bridge, so it doesn't matter. There. Which means you're going to have to kind of throw out the bridge we made earlier. Sorry, folks, who's watched me make that. I might use it as a guide to make a voxel version of it, but we changed our art style. Sorry, right? If you're watching from the 4.9 era. So in line with that, and in line with that, but over here, 3 meters. No. All that hard work, well, you know, it was fun for the time being. And this next little bit's gonna be kind of tedious. And we're almost out of time, so. Yeah, we don't have to cut in each individual voxel, thank gosh. Oh, that's concerning. There we are. So that's 1, 2. Yeah. And then I can fill this up with a bunch of, well, not a bunch of, but like a mesh of water voxels, which will actually be the mesh, like a mesh that will be materialed in the water voxels. I'd have to probably make a new voxel texture because I need to have it be translucent. Might be able to figure something out with that, but if I even want to have metal trim, it might just be actual like cubes. Anyway, so that's stuff to think about for later. So this is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 1 stair. So around there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th one that goes straight. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. And then so on the 6th one, it goes straight. I can tell this is a lot quicker than what we were doing earlier with the voxel thing, right? Like in the when we're modeling out the voxels of big bevels. Because it's all material effect. Material can do it all for us. Yay! Yep. Oh, that was too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next one's gonna go straight. So then this here, I'll make it in line with that there. And then this here, we'll make it in line with that there. And we'll adjust this size later. Before I do much more, I'm probably going to want to export it and put it into Unreal Engine. It won't be finished. Yeah, it won't be a finished asset, but I want to see if it actually just lines up at all. Let's try adding the modifier again. That won't work. Oh, that's a problem. We're not going to be mirroring on the X and Y. We'll not be mirroring over the XY. That's the problem. Let's actually try this instead. So, let's go in object mode. Oh, we're already in object mode. Okay, cool. So, add mesh plane. So 0, 0, 0, and then rotate around the. I'm doing 45, and then 9. There we are. Let's see if this does what we want. So that does what I want. It doesn't look like it does, because that's not the actual mirror plane it's being done, but the way it's rotated is, I guess, so whatever. So in edit mode, sorry. In edit mode here, yeah. Sure. Cool. Although we're going to hide it. Even though it's still there, you know, still there, but we're not actually having to deal with it yet. And it's 11 o'clock, so that's where we're going to stop for today. So thank you for watching today. Tomorrow we'll probably grab this and switch it to we'll probably use a modifier to make a plate and put it in Unreal Engine, just so I can see if the edges line up correctly before I start adding more detail to it. And then we'll keep working on it to make a bigger plate and so forth. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Wherever that button is. There we are.